Whoop, whoop. Who's in for business chat tonight? It's all about the business, baby. Come and join us. You want to learn about the gaps and what the gifts are? Tonight's your night, you lucky buggers.
If you could change any choice you have ever made, would you? You can always make another choice and change the course of your success. Everyone has the potency to make inspired choices. Get ready to listen, share, and experience the creativity that is you. Now, here is the host of the Inspired Choices Show, business optimization expert, Christine McIver.
Hello, my friends. Yes, I am Christine McIver. I'm thrilled to have you join me tonight, whether you're live or you're listening in the replay. I'd love to know. So please put down wherever you're listening, hashtag live or hashtag replay. Wherever you are listening from or whenever you're listening, I'm very grateful that you are here. We've got a packed show for you tonight. We're going to be talking all about business. Surprise. We talk about business an awful lot here, but when we're talking about business, we're also talking about the psychology of you, the entrepreneur, or the individual that's thinking about being a business owner, an entrepreneur, or someone that is just kind of in the business world and wanting to learn more. So I am a business optimization expert. I actually take the crazy out of business and bring pleasure in instead. I love working with business owners who are really looking to put the commitment in to really grow their business. They are ready to really get out there in a big way, but not to do it from the place of stress. They want to put things in place, a real strong strategy and something that they can really be proud of. I love brainstorming, creating, putting systems in place, and really planning out the revenue growth perspective in the future for the business owner and the business, and doing it all the while we discuss the spaces and places where you not only have gaps, like we're going to be talking about tonight, but also in places and spaces where you are challenged. So I would love to hear from you. I would love to have you join us tonight. If you would like to join live and interact and ask questions, you can come over to inspiredchoicesnetwork.com/chat room. We usually have a pretty good time in there laughing and asking questions. And if you are listening in the replay, you can certainly send me an email with your comments and thoughts after the fact. So tonight's show is gaps in your business are gifts. Can you imagine what the hell is a gap? So do you ever find yourself frustrated by the gaps and the challenges in your business? Are you a business owner or aspiring entrepreneur constantly striving for perfection? Any recovering perfectionists out there? Well, it's time to shift your perspective, because those gaps in your business are gifts waiting to be unwrapped. Imagine having a gift when you discover something you've missed in business. So tonight we're going to teach you how to identify the gaps and get comfortable with the gaps and then turn those into money gifts. Who is in for some money gifts? Yes, yes, yes. All right, let's talk about gaps. Let's talk about what is a gap in business. So whenever we talk about business and whenever you're looking at your business, if you imagine a picture, imagine there's your business entity, the name of your business, and then to the left is you, the business owner. You're always part of this picture. And then to the right would be your business team members, employees, or third-party consultants that you work with. And then underneath all of this will be your business systems, your services, your products, everything that is connected to your business. That's your entire business view. And when you're looking at the gaps, you need to look at the gaps in all of those areas. Now, how do you know that something is a gap? Well, you know that something is a gap, first of all, if there's a problem. So imagine you have a team member, an employee, and they are failing at what they are doing in their job. Now, I'll tell you what most owners, what managers do is they look at the employee. That's their first place that they look. And they think, what is wrong with this person? Why can't they get this right? Well, that may be partially the challenge. There might be a bigger challenge in place. So the gap in that situation may be a gap in education. They may need to further education, perhaps, secondary, post-secondary education, or they need education specific in some kind of program or process that you have as part of the business. Perhaps there is a training gap. Oftentimes, it's a training gap. They don't thoroughly understand what they are supposed to be doing. And in a lot of cases, the gap is actually in the communication. Think about this. The communication in what you have in your mind that you need done and what they understand is where oftentimes the challenge is. And the way that we communicate what we desire and how we desire to have it done is even deeper underneath that. So, how many of you have SOPs in your business? SOPs stand for systems. Oh my God. My brain completely gapped. Isn't that hilarious? SOPs is the layout of exactly the steps in the process. And what you want to do is you need to have your SOPs for every single task, not just job. Thank you, Karen. Standard operating procedures. I don't know why my brain decided not to have that there tonight. So you want to have not only standard operating procedures for a job, but every task within that job. So for instance, I'm going to use our business as an example. So if you are a producer with our company, there is a standard operating procedure on how to produce a live show, what you need to do during the show, and post-production, what you need to do. Then there is operating procedures on how to submit, how to receive and post a show submission. There's an operating procedure on how to market that show. There's an operating procedure on how to promote that show post-production. There is an operating procedure on how to promote the TV show, how to take that, we call it take that TV show home, how to schedule it and how to take it home. We have operating procedures for every single solitary task. And when there is a gap, when there's a challenge, when there's a problem, when there's a miss, when there's an error, the very first place that we all want to go to, and I endeavor to go to each and every time, is what's the gap? What's missing? Because the average person that is working for you wants to succeed. They said yes to the job. They want to do a good job. They want to continue to do a good job. They want to continue to be paid. Most people are not out doing their job and doing it poorly and not caring about it. Most people honestly care about doing a good job. And what we need to be doing is paying attention to the pieces that support them. Imagine they're a surgeon. Do they have the tools that they need? And a standard operating procedure is one of those tools. Now, a lot of people that I speak with are solopreneurs. You're the only individual working in your business. Does it make sense for you to have a standard operating procedure? I would love to hear. We've got a full chat room tonight. I would love to hear what people think in the chat room. Would you say yes or no for a solopreneur to have an standard operating procedure? We got one yes so far in the chat room. What do you think? that out there that are listening and watching, would you say yes or no to having a standard operating procedure for the tasks that you are doing day to day? We got a, I'm not sure. And two others are thinking very hard about whether they should or shouldn't have operating procedures. So yes, the answer is yes. Every single solitary person in business should have a standard operating procedure. Now, while it absolutely, it saves time, for sure it saves time. But what you need to be doing is you need to be assessing your steps. How are you going to get more efficient at what you are doing? How are you going to track if you hire someone to do the job, to take over the job? And I can tell you, I didn't have these SOPs in the beginning before I started hiring individuals in the company. And what really began to happen was I would be teaching them a task and we'd be writing them down, and then there were steps that were missed. So when you have an SOP and you do bring somebody on, that's already been created. However, if you're looking at assessing the efficiencies of what you are doing in your business, and most definitely from a time perspective, because time is money, if you're looking at it from a time perspective, you want to have your steps written out so you can assess them. You should be assessing them absolutely yearly, if not every 6 months or even every quarter. Really go through those SOPs and read them. For me, I like to read them out loud. And when I'm reading them out loud, sometimes I can hear something different than what my auto responder is when I am going through those tasks. So that's an example of a gap. And that gap, when you identify that you don't have the procedures written out and you haven't assessed if something makes sense, the way that you are doing it, then you can come back, look at that, and start to save yourself some time. Now, imagine if you had standard operating procedures for every task that you are doing right now, and you reviewed those tasks, you really got down to it, and you looked at every single solitary one of these, and you were able to find, let's say, 15 minutes in every single one of your tasks, and you had, 8 tasks, that would be 2 hours a week. Okay. So 2 hours a week at $50 an hour is $100 a week, which works out to $5,200 a year. Now, I don't know about you, but I wouldn't walk past $5,000 sitting on the ground. Would you? Would you just give $5,000 out to anyone without consideration of the impact on your cash flow? Imagine what $5,200 would do for your cash flow today. This is what the gaps do. And this is how the gaps can start to turn into money. Now, what I said was the gaps are gifts, because without you seeing the gaps, without you actually kind of being poked in the eye, like, hey, you've got a problem here, without those gaps actually rising to the surface, you don't have an opportunity. And when you have an opportunity to evaluate what you're doing, and you have an opportunity to fine tune your processes, you have an opportunity to fine tune your efficiencies, that's where you can miss out on money. There are so many businesses out there that are leaving money on the table because they are not going through this process. This is an incredibly important process and not something to take lightly. I have spent a great deal of time writing out SOPs, standard operating procedures, for all of the tasks in the business, and we keep coming back to them again and again. It's so important because it's like found money. So I want everyone to start thinking about How do I do this? Where do I start? How do I start? It doesn't have to be complicated at all. You just start doing a task. And I like to use a Google spreadsheet or an Excel spreadsheet. And I start to write the tasks down. I number them, and then I look at them and see if they make sense, and go through them and reevaluate them. And if you have other team members, have them go through them as well, because oftentimes, as I said, this is automatic in your brain, and you may be missing some very important things that should be on that list. So the opportunities that are available to you, the money, there is money in your business. There absolutely is money in your business that you're missing. And we're going to be talking about more about this right after this break. So stick around, my friends. You're listening to the Inspired Choices Show. I'm your host, Christine McIver, here on the Inspired Choices Network. And we're talking all about gaps in your business are gifts. We'll see you right after the break.
Many of us make choices based on our past experiences or based on what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join the Inspired Choices Show with business optimization expert Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know, but may not choose, that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back. She brings all her expertise to every show. Are you ready to create and live the life you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email become a host at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Inspired Choices Show with business optimization expert Christine McIver. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine at inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
All right. Who's ready to talk about gaps and money and really looking for the opportunity and the gifts? Well, I am. I am really happy that you're here. We're talking all about how gaps are opportunities and gifts in your business. Before we went to the break, we were talking about standard operating procedures and how when you have them in place and regularly evaluate them, you can find opportunities to save time, which absolutely saves money. Now, let's talk about one of the best things that you can possibly do. Let's talk about scheduling. How many of us, when we first started our business, were flying by the seat of our pants? We didn't know what we were doing from one minute to the next. Somebody would ask for our attention and we would just drop everything we were doing, hoping that it was going to be a sale, and we would jump on a call with them, right? When we do not have a schedule laid out in front of us, especially when you're a creative person and can get distracted extremely easily, you are losing time and your inefficiencies are going to show. They're going to show in your bottom line. They're going to show in your cash flow for sure. So having a tight schedule is very important. One of the things that you need to put on your schedule, and when you are scheduling and have a booking program, in that booking program, you should also have time that you have scheduled out for you to work in your business, for you to do the things that are outside of working directly with a client or with customers. You need to have time booked out and you need to hold yourself accountable. One of the hardest things for any entrepreneur, especially when they first start working from home, is holding themselves accountable to stay working, to stay functioning in front of their computer or whatever it is that they do. Also, to educate their family and friends that they're working, they're not at home, they are working. And, when I first started my business, I would have my door shut and I would have a note on the outside of the door, working. If you need me, write a note and slide it under the door. I was not taking knocks on the door. I was not taking, hey, mom, I need to talk to you. I was not doing any of that at all. It was very important that not only my family members took me seriously, but I took me seriously. It was so easy to get distracted by the things that, the house was looking for, or family members were looking for, or just, anybody just going outside and enjoying the sunshine. It was very, very important that I held myself accountable. And the gaps that are there they're going to get more and more obvious as you become committed to really turning up and up leveling your business. When you are finding gaps coming up, like perhaps you're having challenges with cash flow, that is a gap. That's a gap. And it's also an opportunity, because when we get ourselves into these situations where money is tight, right? What we do is we shift our focus and we start to really focus in on, okay, I need to pay attention to this. I need to have a strategy. Now, a lot of us go into panic and we start the verbal diarrhea in our head around, oh my God, what am I going to do? Oh my God, I'm going to probably have to shut the business down. Oh my God, I might have to get a job. And we go into crazy head for a good while. I want to challenge you. When anything like this comes up, wherever you would normally in the past go into worry and fear, I want you to start looking at this and going, wow, I guess this is another opportunity. If you're not seeing the gaps, the opportunities cannot be taken advantage of. So when these gaps show themselves up, looking at it as an opportunity is going to immediately change your perspective. And when you're looking at it as an opportunity, you're going to start to receive information in a different way. Remember, I've said this before. When you are in worry or you're in fear, you start to contract. And when you're contracting, you're putting up walls to opportunities. So I want you to immediately begin to change your mindset. Wow, here's another opportunity, and start asking questions. What is this? What is the gift in this? What is this trying to show me? Because the universe has always got your back. And when you are in a space of knowing that the universe has your back and that there are endless amounts of opportunities in the world, and there is so much money that it would blow your mind if you even knew how much money was out there, there is no possible way that you could be struggling unless you had a gap. Does that make sense? So right now, what I'd love to ask everybody is, what's one gap you have in your business? What is one gap that you absolutely know that you have in your business that you've just been kind of turning away from, that you haven't been looking at, that you've been saying, you know what, it's no biggie, I'll get to it later. It's no biggie, I'll get to it later. Admit that one gap that you have, that you absolutely know that you have. And then let's start to plan to change that for you. What about your lack of organization? Your lack of organization is a huge gap. Do you ever, or do you have somebody in your family that they are always losing their keys? I can't find my keys. I can't find my keys. Have you seen my keys? I can't find my keys. And they're spending so much time looking for something. That is a gap in their organization. Now, you may be a very organized person most of the time, but I'll bet you 10 to 1 that there is an opportunity for more organization in your business. Mickey says, I'm feeling called out. That's awesome. You know what? One of the biggest areas that there is an opportunity is in the organization of your computer, the organization of your email. If you have, and I'm going to challenge you, if you have more than 50 emails in your inbox that require action from you, you have a huge gap and you have a big opportunity as well. If you have more than 50 emails in your inbox and that inbox has, let's say you have 50 opportunities in your inbox, but you have 10,000 emails in your inbox. Oh, sister, oh, brother, you have a big opportunity. You cannot possibly be efficient and respond in a timely manner in this just-in-time society that we now live in to respond to clients who would like to work with you when they are being buried in thousands of emails. Thousands of emails. And I have said this so many times that every single one of those emails holds an energy. There is an energy there. It's the same in your office. If you have piles and piles of books and papers everywhere, they're all holding energy. And it's nearly, I want you to think of them as a child going, mommy, 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 daddy, daddy, daddy. They're calling out your name. There is an energy to every single thing, even in your inbox. And it's your responsibility to get that cleaned up. How many of you avoid your inbox because you have so many emails in there? Right? It's just crazy that what I have seen over the years. I met a woman who had 100,000 emails in her inbox. 100,000 emails. What in the actual blank, blank, blank are you doing with 100,000 emails? It just kills me when I see these things. I had 15 to 20,000 emails. I hope you no longer have that, sir. I keep it very organized now as best I can. I unsubscribed from many sites just this week. Fantastic. Yeah. How many of you are like feeling like you're missing out? Fear of missing out, right? FOMO. And you're signing up for this and you're signing up for that and you're signing up for this. And suddenly you're being buried in your inbox. You're being buried. That's a huge gap. And it's an opportunity for you to focus. If you're signing up for things because you're afraid of missing out, you actually aren't investing properly in your business. You're not spending the time in your business working on, research and development, connecting and following up. Many people have a huge opportunity in following up with possible contacts, maybe past contacts. Who knows? We have these opportunities, and it's essential that if you're going to thrive in the entrepreneurial world, that you get vulnerable about all of these wonderful opportunities. Think of it as you're going to be up-leveling. You're up-leveling your abilities. You are up-leveling the opportunities so the money can come. I can tell you for truth that when I started to really organize and put my SOPs in place and take my calendar very seriously, things really started to change and I got more efficient. One of the other big opportunities is your systems. Do you have a system in place that the minute a customer says yes, or a prospect customer or client is interested, do you have an email template? Do you have documents ready to go in that email template? Do you know exactly where that is? Are you a master of your own computer? Do you know how to operate that quickly, efficiently? Do you have your folders organized? Do you have your documents organized? Are they in a logical place, or are you spending time just like running around with those keys, looking for those keys in your computer? What are those clocks called that people use in chess? When you start, stop, I don't know what they're called, but imagine if we had one. And every time we started to look for one, we hit that clock. I really wonder if you did that for one day, how much time you would notice that you wasted. Where the gaps are, there's opportunities. I want you to remember this. I want you to really look at when you have got these efficiencies in place, then your confidence starts to grow. And I'm going to talk more about that after the next break. So you are listening to Inspired Choices. I'm your host, Christine McIver, here on the Inspired Choices Network. Don't go anywhere. We've got a lot more to talk about tonight. We'll be right back.
Many of us make choices based on our past experiences or based on what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join the Inspired Choices show with business optimization expert Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know, but may not choose, that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back. She brings all her expertise to every show. Are you ready to create and live the life you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is the Inspired Choices Show with business optimization expert Christine McIver. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine at InspiredChoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. Today, we are talking all about how the gaps are opportunities and gifts. If you don't have the time to really pay attention to the gaps in your business, you're going to be missing out on not only opportunities, but revenue and new possibilities with current clients. So this is something that you want to be able to circle back, stay organized with what you offer to your clients, stay organized with what they've communicated with you. So there's a gap in your business if you are not taking down notes in conversations that you have. A really great program is to have a customer relations management program, a CRM. It doesn't have to be something that you're writing a long script in, but when you are keeping notes in there and you have follow-up dates, you are going to close the gap on closing opportunities and with sales. And that is a big thing. If you think, oh, I'll remember him, I'll remember her, I'll just write it down on this Post-it note. Think again. Because if you are doing that, you're not efficient with your emails and you don't have a CRM program that you're utilizing, you're going to be missing those opportunities. Now, all of these things that I'm talking about leads and points directly to your cash flow. How many of you that are listening tonight or in the future, how many of you desire to have more cash flow, to have more revenue in your business? There's two ways that you can have more revenue. Yes, please. We've got one. Yes, please. There's two ways we can have more revenue. One, we can get more customers, or two, we can get more services with our current customers. So when you are having your conversations and you're keeping notes around what you're offering to your clientele and you expand your offerings, you have more offerings that maybe they weren't aware of when you first had the conversation, or perhaps you shared it with them, but they weren't ready at the time. You can follow up with them and see if they are ready again. You can follow up with them and advise them about a new service that you have available or a new product. Your clients, this is something that I remember my very first customer, my very first business I started, it was Alouette Cosmetics. And we talked about this all of the time. And this is where follow-up is so, so important. And follow-up is challenging for most of us. It definitely is a challenge for me. And it's something I really, really have to hold myself accountable to do. But when we were in our business is we would go to a show and we would have maybe 10 to 25 people there. And there were all these customers, and most of these customers would purchase from us. Well, if you're not following up with those customers and you're not asking them how they're enjoying the product, or if there's something that they would like to try, that they didn't get an opportunity to that night, or if they would like to reorder, you are missing out on sales. And this is the same no matter what business you are in. If we were not following up with customers and we were not following up with the hosts and asking them what it is that they would like or telling them about new opportunities with us, we wouldn't be enhancing the relationship that we have, bringing more value to our hosts. That's one of the ways that we continue to have a strong relationship with our hosts is we continue to bring value to them, to educate them. That's the way that we're investing in our hosts so that they continue to be a valued customer to us. That is one way to ensure that you're closing the gap on sales is by continuing to bring value to your customers and offering them something new that you are also doing. When you are looking at your customers and you're looking at your financial flow, imagine if you have 20 clients or 50 clients that you had in the last 2 years, and you actually reached out to them, touched base with them, followed up with the services that you've given to them in the past, and you asked for another sale. You gave them an opportunity to learn more about what you're doing or something new, or perhaps you just followed up to see where they're at and you listened for the opportunity that's there, the gap that they're having. You might be able to have another sale with them. So if you had 50 clients that you followed up with over, let's say even over the next quarter to the end of the year, 50 clients, and you sold them maybe a $500 package, that could be $25,000. Guys, think of this. One of the things that I love to do, and I learned this when I was doing Alouette, is I would pull over on the side of the road after I left the show, because we did shows in the host's home. And I would pull over and I would play with my calculator all the time. And then I would be playing with my calculator, adding up the sales that I had during the week and during the month so that I could be hitting my targets. So do you have targets? Do you have a strategic plan of what you would like to achieve financially? How many sales that you would like to have for each of your products or your services? If you don't have a strategic plan in place, you have major gaps. I am telling you, you have major, major gaps in your business. Because it's like driving a car in a country where you have no idea where you're going. You have no GPS. You have desires. But you don't have the GPS. And your strategic plan, knowing exactly how much you would like to have in sales, exactly what products or services that you want to sell and how many of those that you would like to sell and how many you would like to sell every single month to hit your target of 1 year. If you don't have that in place, I can guarantee you're missing out on opportunities. Now, it's nothing to get yourself upset about, but as you start to look and you start to write down these gaps that you absolutely know are opportunities, you can start to see, you can start to see, okay, which one of these are one of the biggest gaps? And then you can start to put attention to those different gaps to start really up-leveling your business. Now, when you start to do this, your confidence in yourself and in yourself as a business entrepreneur, a business owner, is going to rise. Confidence in any area is going to add to all the areas. So as you do this, you're going to infuse more positive energy into your business. You're up-leveling yourself. When you up-level yourself and your energy is rising, I don't mean the amount of energy you'll have, but the strong positive energy that you're going to be exuding, guess what? The people that are looking for someone with that type of strength are going to be attracted to you. And you haven't even gone out there and spoken to them yet. This is a big, big piece that we don't realize, is that as we get efficient in our business and we feel strong and confident about how we do business and how we're showing up and how the efficiencies are adding to our business, we start to up level, and it shows. It shows in the way that we articulate what we're doing. It shows in the way that we show up to business meetings. It shows in the way that we network. It truly shows in every single solitary area of your business, networking, connecting, and your operations. It absolutely does. Now, when you are ready to up level even more, here's one thing that I would strongly suggest that you do, is make a grid of 20 minutes across the top. Then make a grid of all of your tasks down the left-hand side. Do this in an Excel spreadsheet. And for 1 week, what you do is you mark an X for each day. You do one of these sheets for each day, and you mark an X on what you worked on for 20 minutes here. So let's say you worked on something for an hour, you would put 3 X's in there across and so on. And then at the end of the week, you add up where you're spending your time. When you realize where you're spending your time, there's a very strong possibility that you're going to see that you have a gap in your knowledge, perhaps on how to do your bookkeeping. Are you doing your own bookkeeping? Are you doing your own accounting? There is a huge gap in a lot of people's opportunities when it comes to their efficiencies in how they are managing both their expenses and their revenue allocations. This is a big piece that if you want to up level, you've got to either up level your knowledge and put some real efficiencies in how you're doing that, or you need to be hiring someone. I spent so much time doing that by myself. Oh my gosh. And the frustration. And then I would avoid it. And then when I avoided it, it even got worse and worse. When I finally gave it over to people that were much more efficient at it and understood the impact of the choices better than I did, it freed up time for me to be able to work in my area of expertise. See, that's a big, big opportunity right there. We've got these gaps in our businesses because we think that we have to squeeze pennies and do things ourselves. And actually, when we're doing that, we're missing out on expanding and developing who we are and really holding ourselves accountable to do more of the things to create more income. And as a business owner, we often do this because we're doing busy making. How many of us out here are doing busy making? I absolutely know I've done hundreds of hours of busy making because I was avoiding something. I was avoiding jumping in, and I was avoiding holding myself accountable. These are more opportunities. As I have elevated with my business and I have been bringing in professionals to support me, I've been able to put more time into research and development. I've been able to have more opportunities to spend time in conversations with other business owners, in working in creating stronger systems that elevated our business. And then in doing all of this, we now have more services that we can provide in what we're doing, because we're no longer doing the things that we have no business doing. That's a big gap for people in their businesses. How many things are you doing you have no business doing? How many of you are out here trying to, oh, it'll just take a minute here and a minute there, and you really don't have a handle on what you're doing in your day-to-day? How many of you wouldn't let me see your email inbox? How many of you wouldn't? If you wouldn't, you need to go clean that up. You need to get organized. And if you would like some tips on how to get organized, let me know. I can tell you. But these are the things that are so important. And most of all, your understanding of who you are and where you need to up level, that's a big gap. If you are struggling with self-confidence, there's an opportunity. If you are struggling with lack thinking, there's an opportunity. If you are struggling with understanding how to really make your business more efficient, there's an opportunity. These are all gaps in your business, but they are all solvable. But you hiding away and not being vulnerable enough to look at them, or raising your hand and asking for help to find the gaps, that's holding you back, and you are responsible for that. Every business owner is the biggest block in their business. That's the truth. And I never wanted to hear that. Years ago, somebody said that to me, and I got my Irish up. And I didn't want to hear that, but it was true. I was the one that was blocking. And I am constantly looking at what I am doing. Does it make sense that I'm doing that? Should I be giving this to someone else? Should someone else be doing this work? How can I do this more efficiently? How much time am I spending on this? I am looking at this continuously, and really looking at, where should I, as a business owner, where should the majority of my focus be? My focus as the CEO of the Inspired Choices Network needs to be in development, developing new processes, developing new services that we are working on, or products, and it needs to be in connecting with prospects. That's where my focus of my time should be. And we've been in the process for the last couple of months in shifting to a new system, and a lot of my time has been there, but it definitely is going to be another asset for our business. But now's the time for me to get out of that. I need to get out of that system and get back into moving forward in the development process, in the connecting with the future customers and clients, and the current customers and clients that would like to have more opportunities come their way from us. So I hope that this is really starting to land for you. This isn't meant to have you really criticize yourself, or have you beat yourself up that you haven't been doing it right. This is meant to show you some things that may be months and years ahead of when you would discover this on your own. The opportunities that are available are more, there's so many more opportunities around us than we even realize. And if you are desiring to really up level your business and have more pleasure, oh my God, let's have more pleasure in our business. It's time to really shine a light on those gaps and really start to step forward and have more of what your business is desiring for you to have. All right, my friends, we are up to our final break of the show. Please don't go away. We'll be back right after this break. I'm Christy McIver, your host on the Inspired Choices show here on the Inspired Choices Network. We'll be right back.
Many of us make choices based on our past experiences or based on what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join the Inspired Choices show with business optimization expert Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know, but may not choose, that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back. She brings all her expertise to every show. Are you ready to create and live the life you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email become a host at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
This is the Inspired Choices Show with business optimization expert Christine McIver. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine at InspiredChoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. Yes, we're talking about efficiencies and gaps. I have a package called the Strategic Business Package. I work one-on-one with you to really look at the gaps and how we can resolve those gaps very quickly. We put a strategy in place for you for the next 6 to 12 months, and then really work out a month and a weekly to-do list for you and help you to figure out how you can do that best of all. If that's something that you're interested in, reach out to me, or you can go to christinemciver.com and you can find that package there. So before we jump back into the show and close out for the night, next week, I'd love for you to come play. We're going to be talking about how to take the crazy out of your business. Take the crazy out of your business. So many people want to be in business, think about being in business, and then 6 months to a year, what happens? A lot of businesses go out because it's too crazy. It's too intense for them. And you know what? You may, as Mickey said, if I take the crazy out of my business, I might not have a business. Well, that may be true, but what if we could actually take the crazy out and infuse more joy and more pleasure? It would be so wonderful to be able to bring that to you and your business, and your customers and your clients win as well when you take the crazy out. I want you to remember it's time to look at the pink elephant in your business. Look at the pink elephant in the middle of the room. If you're not watching me on video, I am holding up a stuffed pink elephant, and he says tons of love on him. There is tons of love in your business. Your business wants you to succeed, but your business also wants you to pay attention to the pink elephants that are all around you in your business. It's time for you to lean in and really take this business seriously. If you want to make serious cash, if you want to leave a serious, absolute, amazing legacy, it's time for you to get serious. And guess what? When you get serious and you really start to rev this up, you're going to have more fun than you've ever even imagined. It's not as difficult as you might think. It may be not your normal way of doing things, but what if you put your hand up and you asked for help, you reached out, and together we organized and got more efficiencies in your business? What if you could have more cash flow, more revenue, and more opportunities come your way? Would that bring you pleasure? It is such an important thing that we pay attention, and we pay attention to what we are doing day to day, and we continue to hold ourselves accountable to step up and step up even more. You as a business owner had this business come to you because, as I always say, this business came to you so it could come through you. But it's your responsibility to take this seriously and to take what you are doing and your actions seriously and look at where the gaps are and start to really change things up. The opportunities are endless, and the opportunities to really change what's going on is not as difficult as you might think. We have got so much activity in the chat room. I can't even keep up, but I'm really grateful for all of you coming here tonight. I'm really grateful for all of you that are listening to this show after the fact, and for everyone that is sending emails, asking questions. Let's keep doing that. Let's keep turning it up, because a world with happy entrepreneurs makes a great investment in the future for our families, our friends, our children, and the world at large. You and you alone have the opportunity to up level and to find the gaps. And you don't have to do it alone, but you do have to raise your hand. So start looking for the pink elephants in your business, look for the gaps, and be willing to turn it up and have more fun than you've ever had before. Thank you so much, my friends. And remember, you can always make another choice.
Thank you for choosing to listen
Bye for
to
now.
Inspired Choices Show. Christine McIver will return next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, be willing to choose what you really desire. This is your life, making the choices that bring you all that